Welcome to Heal with Us, where we aim to inspire, strengthen, and empower.
Now let's begin to heal.
Hey y'all, I'm Toya, and I'll be investigating the business of everyday people like you and I. This is Dr. Nikkisha. She'll be checking in on your heart. And that's Tam. She'll be enlightening you with fun facts you didn't even know you needed. She's just nerdy like that. Now that you met us, let's get in your business.
In your business.
All right, so I just remember as a kid hearing the saying, you are what you eat. It scared me half to death. I was like,
Of course it did.
wait, what? Do you remember the first time you heard that saying and like the feeling you got from it?
I probably can't remember hearing that as a child. I'm sure I did, but my first recollection was probably as an adult,
Okay.
and I knew exactly what it meant. I mean, in
Okay.
my mind anyway. But yeah, so
I have to agree with Doc. I don't remember as a child hearing it, but I would say I became aware of it. I would say teenage years, because that's when you really start to think about your body and how you look and you're critical about it. So
Yeah.
I would say then, yeah.
I do also remember the aha moment after that where I was like, oh, they just mean like, if you eat good food, it fuels you. And if you don't, you get a little bit tired. So I think I too started to like overthink that saying. So I tried the vegan vegetarian approach when I was like 16, I think. Mainly because stuff was scaring me half to death about how they treated animals, and then if you eat an angry animal, then you're going to be an angry person. If you eat a scared animal, so just seeing all those things like that. Do you remember like how it like infiltrated you?
for me, I believe, and I don't know if it was that saying in itself or just me becoming more aware of how to treat my body and what to put in my body. So, like you, I had a phase or a season where I tried the vegan and vegetarian because I knew it was I heard and did research, and a lot of studies say it's a lot healthier for our bodies. A lot, people who are vegan and vegetarian live longer. They have less diseases and ailments and all kinds of things. So I tried that, but it wasn't very successful because after a while it's like, okay. I mean, it's hard to make a drastic life change like that if you don't have like community and people to help you so that you can stay for the long run. So I think now that I'm a little older and wiser, I just try to have that balance.
Yeah, now that I think about it, I remember growing up, my family, we had gardens and stuff, and my grandmother always grew vegetables and stuff. So it wasn't that I wasn't exposed to healthy eating, but coming from an economic type of situation that was low on the totem pole, we were kind of in survival mode. You had to eat what was afforded to you.
Yeah.
So I really couldn't take into consideration the health of my food until I was at an age where I was able to, buy the food for myself.
But it's weird because even the bad food then was good food compared to now, because they were still baking cakes from scratch.
Yeah, and it wasn't a lot of chemicals and preservatives and all these other things that was genetically modified stuff being put into foods like they doing now. But for me, it just didn't come until later in life when I was able to afford better
And
food.
I know, like, sometimes you just don't, it doesn't matter. You're not even thinking about, like, you're not on that level of, like, is this healthy for me? Is this not? It's like you eat some foods that are, like, really bad for you, but they make you feel so good.
I know.
So is there a benefit to, okay, but I feel good, though. I don't know.
But that goes back to the dopamine that I was speaking of. You eat that food and the dopamine, you get that dopamine high. But also a lot of the times I think people eat certain foods that aren't good for them because of nostalgia.
Yeah.
The other day I was in one of our local grocery stores and standing in line waiting to check out. And to my right, there was, damn. And I'm like, who knows my name? Damn. It was a doggone honey bun. It was a honey bun calling my name. And I'm like, okay, honey bun, your name on the package says Little Debbie. I don't want to be Big Bertha, okay? So no, I literally had to say out loud, no. And, you know, of course, everybody around me like, what is wrong with this lady? I'm like, y'all don't hear Little Debbie calling me. So I think it's because of nostalgia that a lot of the times we eat things that we shouldn't. And the dopamine high as well.
Well, sometimes it's because it's in your face. Because, I mean, like I think about like every time we have even at work, it's an event or it's something, and it's candy or it's cookies or whatever on the table. It's never fruit. It's never, you know, all the things that are supposed to be so much more healthy. And it's like, you know, I notice when I fast and I'm not thinking about that stuff, or I know I'm not going to touch it, I'm fine. But then when I'm not fasting, I realize just because it's in my space, I'm grabbing it. And I'm like, why am I grabbing this? I don't really want it. It's just because it's here. So sometimes I think it's the convenience or the proximity of the food. So
And
that can kind of
also
persuade you, you know.
preservatives and additives that they put in the food to keep you craving it.
I believe that.
To keep you craving
I
it.
can see that.
And one particular food that I know I've kind of done some research on is like Doritos and the cheesy thing. So Doritos and Cheetos and stuff like that. The cheese, the flavoring in it, it actually has an addictive additive that they put in there to keep you digging in that bag to continue to eat. So
Well, you know who sent me the video about the lady was talking about Doritos and Cheetos and cereals and things.
how they make food
Different. Oh,
That was me.
that was
That was
very
me.
upsetting.
that was me.
So just in case y'all don't know, I don't know the young lady's name, but she's like a food activist. And this child over here shared the video. It made me very upset, but I'm glad to know because the truth will set you free. Apparently, in our country, we're not getting the same quality of food as those in other countries, even though the food is being made in our country. So this lady was just talking about things like cereal and Doritos and things like that, how when they're shipped across seas, they're flavored with natural products like carrot juice and whatever, and the people love it and the kids love it, everyone loves it, but here we're getting all this artificial stuff. Make that make sense. So yeah, so that was very upsetting, but it also shows how important it is to be educated about what you're putting in your body.
I told you guys in a previous episode, check the back of your foods. If you cannot pronounce any of those ingredients on that label, don't eat it because, you know, nobody has walking around with degrees in chemistry and you know, chemical engineering or anything like that to know what some of these chemicals are. It doesn't take much to make bread and, you know, the basic necessities. So I didn't mean to scare you, but I just wanted you to be informed.
It made me angry more than anything, but yeah.
So why do you think some people or some of us will just eat anything? Like we don't even check labels. We just, okay, it looks like it's bread, so.
I think because there's several reasons. Maybe you're craving it. Once again, nostalgia to take you back to a place of innocence. Just because it's there, like Doc said, just because it's right there in front of you. You know, I think there's a lot of reasons why we eat things that we shouldn't.
I think too. I honestly believe the biggest factor is your lifestyle growing up. Like you notice people. I don't know if y'all have noticed, but people who have grown up in homes where it was always home cooked meals, especially different cultures. People who come from different cultures, they're still eating their cultural food, traditional foods, and they may, you know, something might be a special treat going out to Chick-fil-A or wherever, might be a special treat or whatever, but they typically stick to what was a part of their, you know, upbringing and their culture. And I feel like that's kind of how we all operate. So if you grew up in a home where you were eating junk and processed food, and it's very hard to break free from that because that's what you knew most of your formative years, you know, and trying to basically create a whole different, you know, what do I want to say, lifestyle around your meals that's I mean, people don't realize it, but that's very challenging because it's like you're almost starting from scratch. When you're like trying to create this whole new tradition that you did not have, you have to come up with, meals, and it's not as simple as getting a recipe book because you might be like, I don't like any of these meals, and then you have to retrain your palate to enjoy things that are healthier, even though they may not at first taste as healthy. So there's so many layers in that. But, I definitely think how we grow up, has a big part of, why we just gravitate to certain things, whether it's healthy or not.
Yeah, and like I said, my grandmother always grew her own vegetables. So whenever I went to her house, you always had vegetables. So it wasn't like I was not exposed to that. I don't know if you guys remember this, but when we were little, when you would come to my house, my mother would never let me drink Kool-Aid, sugared Kool-Aid. I always had sugar-free Kool-Aid.
Yeah,
and when I would come to you guys' house, I would guzzle that stuff like it was going
pound of sugar in the Kool-Aid.
Like, oh my God.
I do remember that.
We had one
So
sugar.
to this day,
because I think we got some, and I was like,
yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, this is what it's supposed to taste like.
no.
Yeah, so to this day, I don't really drink a lot of sugary stuff because of, like you said, whatever you were exposed to. I mean, God forbid the sugar-free Kool-Aid was disgusting. But that helped me not to drink all the sugary. I'm not really into sugary candy. So when I was a little kid, I think out of my whole entire life, I only had one cavity because my mom, she would let me have like the Smarties, like those little, that was the extreme of candy that I could have. So like Halloween, it was like, oh my God, I'd be bouncing off the wall. She would let me, and she wouldn't even let me eat all the candy, but that kind of things. And then, as you said, I carried it on with my son, so I didn't let him have, a lot of things. But yeah, I do agree that, some other cultures, they continue on and that's all they knew. And they very rarely veer outside of that food. We went to a Mexican restaurant a couple of months ago, and it was shocking to see an Indian family in the restaurant eating Mexican food because you normally, they're very strict. Like a lot of, depending on what sector of Indian, they're vegetarian. So it's very rare that you would see another like that culture in a Mexican restaurant eating Mexican food.
That's so true. That's so true.
I think too, like once you do eat healthy and you try to go back to the unhealthy foods, you literally can taste the chemicals and the fake stuff in the food after you go back.
However, I will say, unfortunately, you can allow yourself to just, because I told y'all this about the sugar. Like I'll do like a 40-day sugar fast or whatever. And then I try to drink something like sweet tea and be like, oh my God, I can't.
Yeah.
But then as I gradually reintroduce it into my diet, it's like it just becomes normal again. So my goal is to just have this healthy balance and not like just, like you said, just a little, it might be the Smarties, but for me it won't be Smarties, but it'll just be something that, will satisfy that need for sugar, but or that desire for sugar, because it's not a need, but not let me go overboard. So,
yeah. And I think how my vegetarian streak ended, I was expecting, and the doctor was like, "You're basically not gonna have any teeth if you don't eat some meat," because I wasn't getting enough of the nutrients in what I was eating because I was too new to it to know like, well, if I supplement this and it'll take the place of this, but the baby was just depleting the nutrients before I could refill them. So my body was depleting the nutrients before I could refill them. So they were just basically like, yeah, your teeth are going to be gone. Like you're going to be having bone loss if you don't eat some meat, at least just for this baby. And then you can go back to, so that was tough for me.
And I can relate to that because I don't eat red meat. And I was already anemic, so you get a lot of iron from red meat. And the doctor pretty much told me, like, you're gonna need a blood transfusion if you don't. I still don't eat red meat. It's been years. It's been years, but I do supplement with iron. So I did have that talk with the doctor,
Yeah.
like my hair was falling out because of iron. I was
Yeah.
very deficient in
Yeah.
iron. And now it's also affecting my vitamin D. So I have to supplement those two things because I don't eat red meat.
Yes.
And I think that's the word, supplement. Like there is a way to, because I stayed vegetarian my whole pregnancy. And now, not to say that there wasn't
all
some.
of them? Or
No, just for my first.
Okay.
After that, I was like, I got to give me some chicken. Give me the burgers. But yeah, so, but my child was fine. I was fine. But I ended up being a little deficient in vitamin D. Okay. So I did have to take supplements, while I was nursing my son and everything. And but I mean, I think it's sad because I feel like with the right education, you could have stayed a vegetarian. You could have stayed on that path because I mean, that was our ancestors' diet for many centuries or whatever. Before they started eating meat. So it definitely can be done. It just needs to be done, in a healthy, wise way. So, yeah.
Okay, well, thank y'all for letting me get in your business.
In your business.
Sure, of course. All right. So blessings. How's your heart, everyone? So I want to continue this conversation about, you are what you eat and just food in general. And something that came to my heart when I thought about this topic was your relationship with food. And I kind of want to start with that because that is so significant. And we know, especially as women and having young daughters or just, even sons, I'm not even going to discriminate against boys because they struggle too with that, is with just having a healthy relationship with food and knowing your balance, knowing just like for me right now, y'all, I don't know what it is, but it's just like, I don't like food. Okay. Like I eat it because I know I'm supposed to, but I'm just in this place where I'm like, how many ways can you make chicken? Me and my husband were just talking about this. Like, how many ways can you make chicken? How many, like I feel like I want something new, but I don't really know where to start. And I want to, you can't just be extreme with it. Like if you're going to try a different type of, like I thought about doing a Mediterranean diet or whatever. I don't want to do a diet, but just that type of cuisine. Yeah. But I'm like, there's so much into that. Like you got to buy all these new ingredients and try, and like every day you don't want to be trying a new meal. So I don't know. I'm just in a weird place. My relationship with food has not really been healthy over the last, I don't want to say for a minute. It's been like the last year or two. I just feel like I'm in a very, I just eat it because it's survival. Like I know I need to eat because I need to survive, but what I'm choosing is more convenience than because it's healthy or what I should eat, and that's something that I definitely want to change. So how are y'all? Where are y'all at with your relationship with food and
we have a great relationship. We're best buddies. We're best buds. But no, I think you just have to experiment. Like if you know you like this ingredient and that, and you like some of this, like try it all together and see what happens. Because if you don't like it, then it's going to be like one thing.
So
okay, that didn't taste good with that. So let me try it with this.
Let me back up just a little bit.
Okay.
So there's another problem. I don't really like cooking. It's not fun to me. I mean, let me take it back. Sometimes it's fun, but that's just my husband loves that. He can put like 4 ingredients together and it tastes like a gourmet meal. I'm so serious, y'all. I'd be like, how did you do that? I just went in the kitchen and stood looking at opened the refrigerator and looking inside for like 10 minutes, like, what am I gonna do? And then he just comes out with this amazing meal. So I don't know. I think part of it, like we said in your segment, is the lifestyle we had growing up. It was processed, quick. It was 9 of us, so it started off with some lovely 3-course meals. But as the other children came along, it was like beans and franks tonight, children. So I think that kind of like gave me a disinterest in being in the kitchen because it was like I didn't get the enjoyment of cooking with my mom and trying out different things. And so now I find it fun sometimes, but like to do it every day is like, oh, this is too much.
I think you should do the Mediterranean thing
think I
because
should
then
try
it'll be
it?
just something new, and then
Yeah.
you'll know it, and yeah.
Okay,
Because
okay.
if you're doing it, you're gonna use all those ingredients. It's not like you're just
Yes.
buying it for one meal. You're still gonna
Right.
use them over and over
Yeah,
again.
that's true.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then that'll be your own thing, and it
Yeah.
will be fun to cook in the
Yes.
kitchen because you're
Okay.
trying something new.
Okay, I'm gonna try this.
Well, I always joke around and say I'm Fatty McGee.
Yes,
So I have a love-hate relationship with food.
Okay.
Like I said, I've been exposed to a lot of different foods growing up and throughout my life. So it's not like I just been just closed off to just one type of food. I've tried different types of cuisines to say, yeah, I like this. No, I don't like this. So, but when I got married, my husband, he's a meat, potato. I don't want to try nothing else. I don't want to go outside of the norm. This is, if I could eat this every day, I would eat it. Dude, no,
Right.
not for me.
Right.
So it had gotten to the point where I would have to cook separate for myself and cook his normal everyday thing because
Oh, you don't
I
eat
can't
that
eat
every
that
day.
every
Right.
single time.
Right.
Like, dude,
Right.
especially when you've been exposed to other flavors.
Yes.
Like, dude, there's a world of flavor out there. Like,
You make it
wake
sound
up.
so fun. I just see colors when you
It's
say
just
that.
worlds
Like
of
flavors,
flavor.
like colors.
yes. So
So can I interrupt? So how were you exposed? Because I mean, we have very similar backgrounds, even though our households we still got raised in different households, but just similar cultures, similar environment. Where did your exposure come from?
So how I was exposed to different, from my mom's siblings. Like my aunt, she lived in Connecticut. So in Connecticut, there is just a diaspora. Like you are intertwined and mingled with so many different cultures further up north you go.
That's true.
And so she had a lot of friends. She was very social. So she had a lot of friends from different ethnicities.
Okay.
So that's one of the ways
That's
of
awesome.
how. And then, like I said, every vegetable you can imagine because we would have to go in the fields and work sometimes, and, butter beans and snap peas and squash, tomatoes, cucumber. Like we would literally have to Saturday mornings go and pick this stuff, and do it. And then we had to bag it and freeze it. And it was just, we had pecan trees. My grandmother had a pecan tree, a pear tree. So those are that's really how I was kind of exposed. And then I had another aunt who was very eclectic with the way that she eats. She used to eat cow's hoofs.
Oh gosh.
She put them up in a stew, and she would just eat the most exotic things.
Wow.
So like when these Asian international markets became prevalent, she was just like a kid in a candy factory.
Wow.
Like, so when you go to her house, you need to make sure you ask her, what is this? Because, that's just some fried octopus with a side of kelp. It's like, what?
Right.
But, so that's how, I was exposed to a lot of different things. But just with my husband, it was like, dude, I need substance.
Diversity.
I have a palate.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you don't. So I try to kind of infiltrate the things that I have tasted that he's never. And he's like, ew, what's that? Ew. So he calls broccoli bonsai trees. Like,
really?
I'm like, dude, you need to eat some broccoli.
Right.
Like the only thing I can get him to eat green is collard greens.
Wow.
And I'm like, dude, there's so many. There's bok choy.
Yes.
There's,
Greens, turnip
spinach.
greens,
There's all other different types of
Yeah,
greens.
yeah.
There's
Yeah.
so many cabbage. He didn't even like cabbage.
Wow.
So when I cook cabbage, I have to cook just for myself.
Yeah.
But I was thinking as you were talking, to combat where you say you don't like to cook every day, it's these meal prep things.
Yeah.
Or you can cook where there's enough leftover for like 2 days or 3 days. I don't know how you are with leftovers. I'm not a big fan.
Yeah.
I'll eat leftovers a day or two, but after the second day,
Yeah.
I can't eat no
Yeah.
more. Like,
That's
but,
me. I can do it one more time, but that's all we're gonna get.
yeah. So, maybe you could cook, that way, like meal prep, that you'll have it a day or two
Yeah.
to get away from cooking. But also, when you said, oh, how many ways can you cook chicken? Change up your spices.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
A
change up
whole
your
lot of
spices.
ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess what I was saying was really it's not even about the different ways. It's just about the
The
same
chicken.
food.
Yeah, the
chicken
It's
itself.
about the chicken itself.
Yeah.
Like,
Like
we're
you can change the taste. Like, marinate your chicken in some pineapple juice.
Mhm.
Give you that sweet, tangy type thing. Or, play around with sauces.
Yeah.
Yes, it is chicken.
Yes.
But at least you'll get a different taste with the
Right,
chicken.
right. This is true, yeah.
Believe it or not, I don't really care for soul food. Like fried chicken.
I'm not a big fried chicken person, honestly,
No,
but I
like-
love me some mac and cheese.
Yeah,
and I
I'll eat
love me
mac
some
and
sweet
cheese.
potatoes or yams, whatever you want to
Yams,
call
yeah,
it. So those two are gonna stay.
But like okra.
Oh,
I love
no.
okra.
I can't.
You love okra?
I can't.
Fried
can't.
okra.
Yeah, I don't know
can't.
where she got that from.
Like,
Lee's
I just-
Lee's Aunt Cassie.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Kentucky's
that's right.
best.
Oh, that's
Kentucky's
right.
finest
Oh, that's
okra.
right. That's right. Yes,
Like
that's true.
now there are some things that I do miss that my grandmother used to, like her catfish stew
Oh.
and her stewed potatoes, and she used to make a potato pie and a white potato pie.
Oh.
Just certain dishes that she would make, like her hot cakes, and she used to make ash cakes and just those different types of things. But like the cuisine, I guess you call it soul food.
Yeah.
I'm good. Like I
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
like oxtails and all. I don't.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't really
Yeah.
care for that. But now, as I've gotten older, I think my diet has gotten a little. Because I've been on numerous of diets.
Right,
I've
yeah.
tried Atkins, which was the best. That one
Okay.
worked the best for me.
Okay.
I've tried the cabbage soup diet. I tried the. You never tried
soup?
No.
You never heard of cabbage soup
What you
diet?
supposed to eat cabbage soup every day?
You eat it for like 3 days
Okay.
because the cabbage, is most consistent of water. So it's
Okay.
kind of like a detox and it flushes you.
Okay.
And then you slowly incorporate certain things
Okay.
back into your diet.
Okay.
I've tried the Mediterranean.
Okay.
I've tried
Well, how'd you like that one?
gluten-free. I've tried pagan.
Why'd you try gluten free? Why'd you try gluten free?
Because I was having issues with my gut.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I tried, I'm trying to think of some of the other ones that's out there. I've tried, what's that one you count macro, micros? What's that? I can't even think of the name of it. Vegan. I tried vegan. That's too much work. That is too much work. Too much work.
Now, I will say I did a 21-day vegan jump start or something with a young lady, Tracy McGuire. I hope I'm saying her last name right. Because she's all about just educating Black women on being healthier and putting the right nutrients in our body because our body makeup is a little bit different. And it was amazing. It really was because she had recipes for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then like the way she did it, whatever you have for dinner, of course, was your lunch. So you just packed it on up. I mean, now I would say that did help me. Like I said, after the 21 days, I was like, okay, I kept trying certain things for a while, but then it was like, okay, I need some more stuff now. I'm getting tired of the same, So that's the thing, just trying to be consistent. Yeah.
So I mean, I always try to have something green with every meal.
Yeah.
Something green. If it's, for lunch, if it's kale chips or I kind of make, like sometimes I'll buy kale and make my own little kale chips.
Oh.
Just put the seasoning on them, put a little bit of oil, and put them in the oven under the broiler until they get a little crunch.
Oh, that's
so good.
cool. Okay.
I want to try to do my own potato chips. Like I have a mandolin and just slice the potatoes and put it in the air fryer. That's a little cheating, but
Right, it's okay.
I don't, and believe it or not, I think I'm a very good cook, but believe it or not, I don't know how to fry chicken. I've never tried it.
Really?
Never done it.
I mean, I don't really fry chicken that much. If it's people, if it's a room full of cousins and they ask me to fry the chicken, I'm not gonna raise my hand first.
are
I can
y'all?
fry chicken, but it's not gonna be like, who made this chicken?
Right.
No,
okay.
no.
No,
It's
I
not
leave
gonna
the
do that.
frying of
I
the
mean, it's
chicken to my
been
husband.
years since I fried chicken,
Okay.
but that was something I could do. I knew when it floated to the top, that means it's done.
Oh.
And all that good stuff. But yeah, now I don't really like, I don't know. I just don't. I guess maybe when you eat something so much,
Yeah.
I'm like, I could pass
And
right
there
over
are
that.
things from my little childhood that even if I smell it,
Oh yes.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Chef Boyardee, anything.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
If I smell it,
Yeah.
I am just gonna, it just, I can't.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah. I don't think they should have been legal.
Oh Lord. The Chef Boyardee.
Chef
Yeah.
Boyardee, yeah, I can't.
What were those meatballs?
I
What
don't.
were they?
I don't
Girl,
know.
I
I
don't
can't.
know.
Any Spaghetti-O, Chef Boyardee.
It might have been Play-Doh. I mean, we don't know.
Oh my God, we don't, and especially now that we know that we just get so anything in America, like
Yeah, so
That's
there are
true.
certain things that I ate so much as a little kid. You put it in front of me, you may get some unpleasant words.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying.
Okay. Oh,
But,
okay.
Yeah,
Makes you
so I
angry?
have a love-hate relationship with
Okay.
food.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can relate to that. I
What were
feel like
what were the little circle ones called?
Spaghetti-Os.
Thank you, SpaghettiOs. Yeah,
yes,
not even
I think Keena
SpaghettiOs.
loves likes what she used to.
You don't want
she
no
used to like that. She
SpaghettiOs?
used to love their
Ooh.
SpaghettiOs.
No.
Yeah.
No and no.
Yeah. Yeah. I can relate to that though. Love-hate relationship. Because I mean, I love trying new things when we go out. And I think it's a combination of the new yummy food with good company that just makes my heart so happy. But yeah, as far as just like day to day,
Is there something or food or cuisine that you've tasted recently that's been around forever and you just never thought to taste, and it's amazing?
That's been around forever?
Yeah, that's like just, and you just never thought about even trying it.
I can't say.
I thought
Like
we
what?
talked about sushi. When she was talking about the wasabi, the ginger. No, you were talking about the ginger.
Yeah.
You're like, what do you use that for?
Oh yeah, yeah. So no, I haven't.
So it was one of my friends introduced me to sushi, maybe 7 years ago. Best thing, I could not stop eating it. I was like, I don't want no raw fish.
I tried sushi before. Now I have tried sushi before. Yes,
Balled up the face and everything.
I was like, God, I don't want that mess. And we went to lunch and she was like, just try it. Like, girl, come on. Man, every day. She was like, "Girl, don't come to my desk and ask if you want to go get sushi. Don't do it. I'm tired. I'm sushied out."
Yeah, because I had a parent when I was teaching. She was Japanese, I believe. She made sushi. Like she actually made it for so she would bring me some like once a week. I used to be like,
Spoiled.
Yeah, spoiled. I miss that. Yes.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. Yeah, I do love sushi.
Yeah.
Sushi is good. Yeah. So I guess like for those like because I feel like your relationship with food definitely kind of reveals your relationship with life and yourself, and just because we can have seasons where we have a horrible relationship with food, and it could be just because of our lifestyle at the time, like we're very, very busy, or we're going through something, or where we just don't even want to touch food, whatever it may be. But how do you kind of, I guess, maintain, or how have you ladies try to maintain a healthy balance and a healthy just relationship with food?
I don't have a healthy relationship with food.
I know that now that I've gotten
older.
older, certain things are coming to the forefront, indigestion being one.
Okay.
Last night we went out to this amazing Italian restaurant. They have amazing pizza. And I get the pizza I've been getting for years. And my chest was like, girlfriend, I'm on fire.
Oh,
I'm like,
wow. Right, like this isn't normal. I know. This is what we normally do.
So I'm like, really? I'm at that age, really?
Oh, wow.
So I think it's just, for me, now I'm doing the intermittent fasting.
Okay.
And so for me, it's just more of, I don't want to restrict myself from the things that I like. I'm still going to eat. If I want to have a honey bun, I'm going to eat.
Well, you told the honey bun no.
I did, because at that time, it was more of, if I ate it, it was because of an impulse type of thing. It wasn't because, you know what, I'm just going to have this.
Right,
But I've made a conscious decision for myself that a lot of the diets and everything that's out there, it restricts a lot of things, and you can't enjoy food. And food is meant to be enjoyed, regardless of if it's a big old molten brownie with the chocolate oozing out of the middle. It's made to enjoy. So why restrict yourself? as long as you're moving and you're active to kind of combat the way that you're eating. Now, I'm not saying eat like that every day,
Right.
but I'm saying don't be so constrictive with your diet because that you're gonna get in that slump.
Exactly.
Like, how many ways can you eat chicken?
Right.
How many? And you're so trying to be so conscious about it.
Yep.
That's what I think where people kind of fall off the wagon and just get in that slump because they're trying to be so meticulous about it. It's just like, indulge every now and then, but don't completely remove it from your diet.
Exactly, yeah.
Because it's just, that's not a way to live.
Right.
I mean, I am, high blood pressure. So I am conscious of my sodium intake. And, when I do indulge, if I love Cold Stone Creamery. And they have different sizes, and before I would get the Fatty McGee. I mean, like it love it size. But now I just get the little teeny one and just eat a little slower.
Right.
So you can get the what is that word? Is it satiation? Satiation?
Satiation.
Satiation.
Yeah,
That's what it is. So that you give your time, your brain and your taste buds and everything to start working with one another. And a lot of people don't realize you're eating too fast.
Yeah, and that's called mindful eating. Like eating, taking your time, chewing your food, savoring is called mindful eating. And it is a way to have a healthier relationship with food.
And then healthy. That sounds like an obsession.
That's not what that means.
She didn't say make noises and sounds while you're eating.
What the world? That just means think about what you're doing. Like sometimes you can just eat and then you're like, dang, all my food is
all gone already.
Like,
I don't even remember tasting it.
Right. It's just like be mindful that I'm eating, I'm nurturing my body, I'm enjoying the way this tastes. A food stalker.
That's hilarious.
Yes, and then also like just piggybacking on what you said, like I've kind of been doing research as I'm trying to like find a healthy balance in my sugar intake and things like that. And a lot of research is saying don't deprive yourself because it just makes you more conscious and aware of the thing you're trying not to eat. It makes you want it more. So it's like find your healthy middle. And like you said, like start just reducing, even if it's like, gradually. And one thing, like for me, I was like, okay, I'm going to ease up off the coffee. It's not the coffee, it's the cream really that I need to ease up off of. But instead of just completely being extreme and taking it out of my diet, I'm just, okay, instead of grabbing coffee, I'm going to start grabbing my little tea with honey from time to time. And eventually, hopefully, I'll have a healthier intake of the coffee, but I don't have to like completely take it out of.
And that was like another thing, being that you said you're trying to do the sugars, it's the refined sugars that you want to get.
Yes.
So other supplemental sugars that you can try is agave.
Okay. Oh yes.
Like you said, the honey. You can try dates.
Oh yes, I've tried that.
Dates.
Yes.
Please stay away from the sugar substitutes because they're just horrible for you.
Cancer causing.
Yeah, and those are some other, like sweetener alternatives that's healthier that you can try.
Yeah, that is true.
With maple, like syrup. Try to get 100% maple syrup. It's more expensive.
Yeah, what I do.
But it tastes better.
As much either.
You don't.
You don't. Yeah. So it's the refined sugars that gets us in trouble that a lot of people don't understand that it's addictive and it's really bad for you.
Right.
It's so bad.
It is.
And with coffee, I've never drank coffee with sugar, but
I would just use the cream.
I would
just sugar
start with decreasing your cup size.
Yeah.
Don't take coffee out completely, but decrease your cup size. And don't take your creamer away either.
Yeah.
Just decrease your cup size.
Yeah.
And then limit it to, coffee on Monday and Wednesday.
Right, yeah.
Or even if you just want to stick with the tea, because I did my tea segment.
Right, yeah.
And I talked about there are black teas that'll give you the same caffeination as a cup of coffee.
Right, yeah.
But the tea is a whole lot better than, the coffee.
Okay. But exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. And you said something I was going to come back to, but I can't remember. About
food stalking?
No, not food stalking. No.
Making
about
your food uncomfortable.
The relationship or something. I don't know. We were talking about just how do you maintain? Like, why do you?
Oh no, you asked about what the relationship is like, and I said unhealthy.
Yes.
Like it's just we just gonna do what we gonna do. Okay, if you're sitting there like little Debbie calling me, I'm gonna be like, girl, okay, girl, come on.
Let's do this.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm
Got
with you. Yeah,
Got you.
I
Okay.
don't. I think it's very unhealthy right now for me because I don't even think about like what am I putting in my body and what. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
Oh, I would love to talk with
I
you.
know.
Okay,
Your
yes.
your stuff is getting in there. Like it's healthy. There's more healthy things in the
Okay.
mix.
Uh-huh.
You know,
Okay. Yeah, because
also.
I mean, I would
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
to talk to
Yeah.
you
And you
guys
could-
about the
Yeah.
red dye 40.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
You know, the things that they extract from beavers and what that's
Ooh.
used, and
Oh,
from the
wow.
bottom end of a beaver,
Oh,
vanilla.
Lord.
Yeah, but I don't
What?
drink.
Wait a minute, back up. You said something about vanilla?
How would you say?
You said something about vanilla.
Mm,
What did you say? I'm about to get very angry.
Okay, so since you want to know, since
Okay,
you
we're
asked.
going to go on a transition on over to.
So a lot of vanilla flavoring, especially like, you know, the imitation vanilla, vanilla ice cream. So there's these glands that's located in the beaver's
Mhm.
derriere that they milk to use these ingredients for these vanilla flavorings.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm
but
not.
not pure vanilla. This is
No, that's why you should
imitation.
always use
Get
pure
okay,
vanilla.
okay.
Don't use any imitation.
Even though
but
I
like
have used imitation
vanilla
before, but-
flavored stuff.
Okay. Wow.
I don't
Which
like
is a
any
lot
of
of I
Vanilla
mean, who thinks of
abstract.
these
That's not pure
things?
vanilla.
Uh-huh.
I mean, who thinks of these things? Like, okay, let's just go use the beavers.
Tastes like vanilla, I guess.
I know, tastes like vanilla. Let's just do this. Right. Yummy.
I'll send you the article.
Okay, thank you.
But there's other things that, you know,
Yeah.
I know about that will shock
Okay.
your mind.
Okay.
But I don't want to scare the people.
Yeah.
The people, I love the people.
I
Well,
know.
people want the truth because I want the truth. Okay, nothing but the truth.
I'll send it to you.
Okay, thank
Send
you. I
it to
appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, well, thank you.
But I don't drink any of my calories.
Yeah, you don't.
So
'cause I remember you saying that to
I
me. I
only
was like,
drink
"Don't talk to
water.
me criminal."
Yeah, I don't drink any calories. So that's my one, like how I
Yes.
kind of balance it.
So you don't
again.
drink soda or juice at all?
Yeah.
None?
And I will say I've gotten a lot better because I used to, tall cups of juice, you know,
Oh.
and
See, I'm
just
not a big
drink
juice person
and
either.
tea. I used to love my sweet tea, but now it's like I can barely finish them now,
Yeah.
the cups. So it's like water most of the time, or like I said, I love my coffee. But yeah,
I once was so addicted to Pepsi, it was crazy.
wow.
It
So I've
is.
never
And
liked
one of
soda.
It's
my
yummy.
my husband's friends, he used to play ball with this guy, and he worked for Pepsi, and he would drop Pepsis off.
Oh.
Like,
Oh wow.
and I'm just like, it was so bad. In my mind, I thought every night I had to have a Pepsi in order to go to sleep. Like it was
Wow.
Yeah.
bad, and it
Wow.
took so much for me to wing off
Yeah.
the Pepsi.
I
Like
had-
it was
Yeah.
just crazy.
Yeah, I had one of my mentors actually was talking about that and how somebody told her to start with transition it to zero. And she was like, blasphemy.
Yes.
I was cracking up.
Yeah.
But she was like, it's like you have to like slowly get your palate used to a different taste. And like
Yeah.
it was like she was drinking a zero expecting the same taste, but it's like no.
Yeah.
And you know, it's hard at first, but eventually it's like okay, your taste
And now
buds
that
adjust.
I've gotten off of it, it was the bubbles
Yeah.
that was doing it. It wasn't
Yeah.
even the taste, because I could drink a Pepsi now and it's like, but if it's a one that's fresh and crisp and the bubbles and it's just like,
Yeah.
like,
I
oh my
cannot.
goodness, the bubbles.
Uh-huh.
So I realized that it was that and it wasn't the Pepsi.
Wow,
that it
that's
was.
interesting.
Yeah, because I'll drink like coffee or a caffeinated beverage to try to stay awake sometimes, but
okay.
I don't, not normally, but Pepsi is the one that I would go to.
Yeah, see, I'm not a
I was drinking a
soda.
dark soda.
I will sip soda every now and again,
And see,
especially
that
if we're
was
doing a
the only one I
cookout or
liked.
something.
Yeah.
But I just am not a soda person.
Yeah, I
It's
don't
just
drink it
like
because
too
I'm thirsty. I
carbonated
think it's
or-
like you said, it's for the feel and the bubbles. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, question: when you guys were little, and my husband and I are the same way, and we went to dinner with somebody, and they just thought it was the funniest thing. When you guys were little, were you forced to eat all your food before you could drink?
Oh yeah, I remember that for a little while, but then that went out the door.
I do that anyway, so I don't know if we were forced to.
I think
Okay.
we were when a certain individual was around, but then that changed.
Oh,
The one
okay.
who tried to force us to eat bologna with ketchup on it.
Ooh.
Yeah, that-
yeah. It's
yeah.
a flat hot dog.
Yes, no.
No, it's not.
A flat hot dog?
No, I do
Is that
not want
bologna?
ketchup
That's what
on my
they said.
bologna.
That before.
That's what they said.
Yes.
Okay.
That's what
Yeah.
sad persons.
Yeah, it's like, how you
told
gonna
us.
make
But yeah,
somebody
when
eat
I was
ketchup on their
little,
bologna?
we could not drink our drink until all our food was gone.
Wow.
And I still do that as an adult.
Yeah.
And we were
Maybe
at
that's
dinner,
why I do it.
and someone was like, I know that y'all don't, it's a habit.
Right.
Yeah,
Like,
I eat
just-
first and then I drink.
Yeah. Well, I heard you're supposed to drink like 10 minutes before you eat or something like that, and
Yeah.
then eat. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
okay.
All right.
Interesting.
Well, thank y'all, ladies. We're gonna appreciate y'all joining, and for all y'all out there, just hopefully you have a healthy relationship with food and yourself. And thank y'all, ladies. Y'all are amazing. Guard
Why
your
she
heart.
look at me?
I don't what.
I hope y'all have a healthy
I
relationship
know.
too.
I do not. I think she's feeling guilty over here. So remember to guard your heart with all diligence, for out of it flows the issues of life.
hello, welcome. Come on over. Get nice and snuggly and comfortable over here in the Nerds Corner. So listen, ladies, do either of you know your blood type?
I think so.
What's yours, Toya?
Be positive.
Me too. All right,
We're blood twins.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yours, Stop.
I think I'm AB.
AB?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
Negative
I haven't
or
looked up.
Just positive?
Positive, yeah.
Positive? Okay, okay. Well, I'm be positive.
Okay.
Okay. And the reason why I asked that question is because I want to talk about, have you guys ever heard of the blood type diet?
No.
Oh, I have.
Eating for your blood
Yeah,
type.
I've heard of that.
Okay. This segment is brought to you by Cameron Man because he once asked me if I could talk about this because he heard someone talking about it. So
Okay.
when the conversation of what the title was going to be came up, I thought about Cameron Man.
Okay.
So, blood types. Of course, I'm a nerd, so I got to give you a little science before we get to the nitty gritty. Okay. So, there are 4 main blood types. You got A, B, AB, and O, but 8 blood types altogether. Okay, let me explain that. But there's a protein called RH factor associated with some blood types. So you have RH positive and RH negative. If your blood factor, your RH factor is positive, then you carry that protein. But if it's negative, then you don't. I know some pregnant women, they have to go through a special test to see if they, what type of, if they carry the positive or negative protein, because I don't know which one.
I think if they're negative,
if
they
it's
have to,
negative,
yeah.
you have to have a certain type of medication because you will attack the fetus because your body, and if the fetus is a certain, your body will attack the fetus because it thinks it's a foreign object.
Yeah.
So they have to kind of keep that under control. So the approximate percentage of the US, I'm gonna give you some percentages as far as the blood type. So for A positive, 30% of the US population is A positive.
Okay.
6% is A negative. 9% is B positive.
We're pretty rare.
Less than 2% is B negative.
Oh.
Wow.
And less than 4% is AB positive.
Oh, wow.
So you're rare.
I'm
Yes,
rare.
ma'am.
Rare.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
a unicorn.
I'm unique. I am.
But you can accept blood from all donors and you are a universal recipient.
Okay.
Okay. AB negative is less than 1% of the population. It's the less common blood type in the US and it's the rarest out of the 8. O positive is 38% of the population. So O positive is kind of like the dominant blood type for the US population. And O negative is 7%. Now, O negative, they can donate to all blood types.
Okay.
And O negative blood is mostly used in emergency situations, like when people have emergencies.
Okay.
So how do you determine your blood type? If you don't know, you can ask your physician because, they draw blood all the time and they'll have it on
all
record.
that blood for it so much.
Huh?
They snatch so much.
I
What are they
know.
using it for?
Well, certain blood tests, it has to kind of settle and do like a sedimentation, and some don't. So they need to make sure that they have enough blood to run all the different
They
tests. that
definitely
they
do.
run. If you donate blood, they can tell you what your blood type is. And then now, which I didn't know, they have at-home kits that'll
Oh,
help you
neat.
to determine your blood type.
Dangerous, but okay.
So I want to get into eating the foods for your blood type. So all my references and research comes from the Harvard Health website. So it was discovered back in 1996 by a Peter D. Adamo. I guess I'm saying that right. He was a neuropathic physician who published a book describing how people could live healthier and longer lives and achieve their ideal weight by eating according to their blood type. So this is something that he created. It wasn't like doctors suggest. There hasn't been enough research to say whether or not what he wrote in his book is valid to
Recommend to the people.
people do and actually see results. So I just wanted to put that in there. He also suggested that spices and exercises should be based on your blood type as well. Now, I did hear something about someone saying exercise according to your blood type. You get more results if you do that according to your blood type.
I know.
But fun fact, ready for fun fact? Fun fact. So type O blood was the original ancestral blood type of the earlier humans in the world. Type A evolved when humans began to farm and had more vegetarian diets. Type B arose among nomad tribes who consumed a lot of dairy products, and type A evolved from the intermingling of people that had type A and B. So I thought that was very interesting. So now I'm going to get into some of the foods that this naturopathic doctor suggests according to your blood type. So type O, he suggests that you eat foods high in protein, lots of meat, vegetables, fish, and fruit, but they need to limit grains, beans, and legumes. Okay. For weight loss, type O, he suggested that seafood, kelp, red meat, broccoli, spinach, and olive oil. Things to avoid as a type O would be wheat, corn, and dairy. And as I'm giving these, I want you guys to pay close attention to the things that he lists as foods to avoid, because you're going to hear
Same ones.
this kind of the same things that's there. Then I said, ooh, that's further research that I could look into, but we don't have enough time. And I'm going to keep going. So the exercise that he would suggest for people with type O would be high intensity aerobic exercises and supplements for stomach sensitivity. So I'm trying to think. I think my husband is O, but I don't know which one. So never mind. Let's keep it going. Okay. And also, when I get to your blood type and I say the things, let me know if you eat these foods and you kind of notice a difference, or the ones that he suggests you avoid, if you eat them, do they bother you in any way? So just let me know. Okay. Type A, he suggests fruit, vegetables, tofu, seafood, turkey, and whole grains. For weight loss, seafood, veggies, pineapples, olive oil, and soy. That's for type A. And things to avoid: meat, dairy, wheat, corn, and kidney beans. Exercise, he suggests for type A, low intensity activities. Type B.
And yours just doing B, period, whether it's positive or negative. Okay. Okay.
So B suggests picking a diverse diet of meats, fruit, seafood, and grains. For weight loss, green veggies, eggs, liver, and grains.
I like all of the above. I do.
To avoid, things that we should avoid: chicken, corn, peanuts, and wheat.
Okay.
So for me, on the avoid list, I don't know. That's blasphemy. I'm gonna eat me some chicken. I'm just saying. I'm gonna eat me some chicken, and I'm gonna lick my fingers. And yes, I'm gonna eat me some chicken. But I can say wheat. That is a no-no for me. It will bind me. So I was like, okay. So it looks like corn. I don't really care for
That's
the taste
what I
of
was
corn.
gonna say. The corn is interesting that that's up there because I feel like that's not like a significant part of our diets. I mean, we might have corn once every couple of months or something like. So for them to put that down, it's interesting.
Is wheat
Although I
the
know
same as whole
tortillas
grain?
and things can still have.
Is wheat the same as whole grain?
No.
Okay, so I like whole grain more than wheat then.
Okay.
I don't mind corn. I don't have to have it or not have it. I do like peanuts though.
You do like peanuts.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they suggest you avoid.
Yeah.
Maybe the fat.
Do you like
and the oil.
liver?
I'm gonna have to throw those peanuts away.
You like
I
liver?
love liver.
Okay, me too.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do.
I'm
Okay.
sorry.
All right.
Fix my
I
face.
know.
So, AB, he suggests dairy, tofu.
Not her clapping.
Yay, cheese.
Lamb, fish, grains, fruit, and veggies.
Okay.
For weight loss, tofu, seafood, green vegetables, and kelp.
Oh.
Not hallucinating.
Yes. Wait, what?
What was that?
I need to listen real
And
close.
things to avoid: chicken, corn, buckwheat, kidney beans.
That little boy.
Really?
No.
No,
Do
this
you
is not
like
for the rest
porridge or cream of wheat?
Uh-uh.
I
Okay,
like
because
cream
that's
of
made
wheat.
with buckwheat.
I like
Oh.
cream of wheat, but I
Yeah,
don't
it's
eat
a
it often.
grain.
Okay.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I can do
So
that.
anything on the avoid list for you is it that you have a reaction or you notice that your body?
But it's
Oh,
funny,
you-
I don't eat a lot of stuff on the avoid list.
No
Okay.
wonder chicken is your arch nemesis.
Right, exactly, yes. The one
you
I don't
don't like
gravitate
kidney
to.
beans?
I do. I love
Okay.
kidney beans, but I try other beans too. So it's not devastating to not have it. But if dairy would have been up there, we would have been
She would
fighting.
have been crying because she definitely cheered for the
Yes.
dairy.
Yes.
dairy.
So
No.
as I said in the beginning, to pay attention to the repetitive things on the avoid list. Do y'all recall hearing what those were?
That wheat was definitely one. Dairy was one for a
Corn.
lot of the blood types.
And corn.
Corn, yeah.
So I kind of found that interesting, and I said I really wanted to look into why. And like you said, in our everyday diets, I don't think everybody eats a lot of corn.
Right.
For me, and I hate to say why I don't eat it, but I remember being a little kid eating corn, and you go to the bathroom, and then I'm like, oh my God, I'm thinking something's wrong because you're seeing the corn,
corn, yeah.
where it shouldn't be. Well, yeah.
Oh.
So yeah, you know how you give the babies the corn, and then they become muddy, and it's in the mud, and it's like, did you even chew it?
Right.
So that scared me as a kid, and it kind of deterred me from eating corn ever since
ever
seeing
again.
that. Yeah. But I don't like you. I don't really eat it much. Like I don't like say, oh, I want some corn.
Yeah.
You know, I crave some corn.
Right.
So I don't know. Maybe over time, evolution, our bodies kind of just gotten.
Is corn a grain?
It is. It comes from
I would
cornmeal,
think
right?
so.
What does corn come? I mean, corn comes from
A plant.
I mean,
yeah, I
I'm
would
thinking
think.
about the
grows on a
cornfields.
stalk.
I'm thinking
Yeah.
about the cornfields. We saw plenty
I
of
would
them.
consider it more a grain than a vegetable.
Yeah. I think so.
But also for type B, I forgot to mention licorice tea.
Oh.
It's good.
For weight loss.
It's a goodie. Look, it's on the goodie list. I
on the
love
goodie
licorice
list.
tea.
Really? I hate licorice.
I like
tried it
licorice
'cause I
tea.
don't like
The smell.
I think yogi tea has it. Has one of those flavors. Can't think of the name of it.
Oh, I don't like
I
licorice.
do.
Oh no,
Yeah.
no. Mm-mm. So those were some
Black
of the
jelly
things
beans.
that No. God.
Yeah,
Like, what's wrong with you?
No.
Yeah.
But those are like some of the things that, he suggested to kind of eat for your blood types, and just try it just to see if you notice a
Yeah.
difference. Maybe eat more of one of the things that I suggested just to see if you notice a difference. Like if you get more energy or if it clears your skin. Or pay attention to the things that's on the avoid list that if you partake in it, if you notice, oh my God, that's why I was feeling sluggish. Or, oh my God, that's why my stomach was hurting.
Right.
Like, it kind of makes sense knowing how I eat. And it's like, oh, wait a minute, maybe he's on to something. But I was kind of shocked to see that, the meat is on here. And I'm like,
Right.
okay, maybe that's why I'm anemic, because I don't really eat the red meat,
Right.
But
Yeah.
I feel like chicken would suffice for that. And so when I said lamb for you, have you ever had lamb?
I think I had lamb maybe once or twice in my, gyros. Yeah. So, it was dressed up really well.
Okay.
So I didn't taste, it tastes good.
Yeah.
I didn't, yeah. And then we actually went to a, Greek restaurant one time for work. And I tried some in a real one.
Real lamb
gyro.
chops?
No, it was chopped. It was gyro,
Okay,
something
okay.
like that too. And it was, I liked it, but what is that sauce they use a lot? It starts
Tahini?
Yeah, that made it taste really good too. So, but yeah, so I can add
Get
that.
you some
I can
lamb
add that
chops.
to my dinner.
Yeah, it tastes like pork chops to me.
Yeah.
I think so. I had some for the first time, in the last couple months.
Okay.
Lamb
Yeah.
chops? Yeah, they're
Okay.
pretty good.
Yeah.
I'll
They're
do
pretty
that.
good.
Try something
Now, any of the other part of the lamb, I ate lamb.
Okay.
I don't, but the chops, I've had them, and they taste like, they're just like a miniature pork chop.
Okay.
And they're really cute too. The presentation.
Okay, that matters too. Okay.
I think that we like liver because we have low iron too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I love some of, there is this little food corner thingy here where I live, and they do fried liver.
Oh, fried liver. I'm gonna have to go for the fried liver one
It
day.
is
Oh my God.
amazing.
Yeah.
Who are these
They
people?
do fried gizzards and fried liver.
Okay.
Oh, amazing. Just amazing. Amazing. So there's another thing that my husband picks on me about. I love gristle. And I just eat.
You do.
Yeah,
I remember that.
I do remember
love
that
it. And
too.
I get an attitude when people don't fix chicken to the point where I can chew the gristle. Like I am literally
I
livid.
do remember that
I
about
know, I
you.
do too.
Braces you were not happy with braces because of that.
I literally just pissed to the high heavens. But I love gristle. Just
that's
the
fun.
crunch, just the,
Yep.
yeah. Oh, great. It's wonderful. Back to you with the
me.
tofu.
Oh, yeah.
Do you eat a lot of
I
tofu? Have
do.
you-
So
okay.
when I was trying to vegan,
I
21
remember
day
that.
vegan start, and back in the day.
It wasn't always great.
No, it wasn't. Like when
But
I
it
back
evolved.
in the
She
day,
got good at it.
I didn't know, how to season. Like you said,
Okay.
seasons everything, but it really does take on whatever seasonings to me you give it. Some people just don't like the consistency.
Yeah.
So it's
Oh,
one
okay.
dish I learned how to make through that 21 day
Okay.
vegan fresh
How
jump
do you
start or
cook
whatever.
it? Like,
Well, the one dish that I love is like a scrambled. It's called scrambled tofu, and it looks like scrambled eggs for real. And you can put mushrooms in it, and whatever olives, because I love me some
so
olives.
is tofu? I've
But-
never had tofu. So is it like the texture of meat?
So it comes like
no.
it's in a block form. It's almost like I
Like
don't know, like a-
cheese.
Yeah.
Almost.
So it's soft.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very
Okay.
soft, and you can crumble it if you squeeze it enough. But yeah, but it's
Oh.
I think the texture more than anything gets people, because you can whatever you season it with. It kind of
Yeah, it doesn't look good the
It
way
does.
it comes.
It
Okay.
looks a little different. You have to be.
So does it taste like the milk?
What milk?
Soy milk.
No.
No.
I don't. Well, maybe if you eat it without seasoning, it probably does. But I would never
okay.
ever eat tofu without just
Seasoning.
Yes,
Okay.
ever,
I've seen it in the store, but I've just never had it.
Okay, yeah, no, I would never.
But I
just-
had this one vegan dish. It was made with lion's mane mushrooms. And so that type of mushroom is what a lot of vegans use for
Okay.
meat, because it gives you the substance
Yeah.
of meat.
Mhm.
Like
Okay.
it
It really does.
Okay.
and it was it like chicken tender thing, like a chicken breast type of thing, and it actually taste and texture of chicken.
Oh, wow.
And I'm just like, I'm sitting there like
mushroom.
amazed at
Wow.
how did this person make this mushroom
Right.
have the texture and taste of chicken.
Wow.
Like, it was amazing.
I'm gonna have to try that.
Another thing that they use to give them the substance and texture of meat is jackfruit.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that.
Jackfruit.
I've not tried jackfruit yet, but I've heard some great things.
And I
about
was kind
jackfruit.
of wondering about it because I love Filipino food. And there have been several jobs where I worked with Filipinos, and they always were excellent cooks. So this one particular job, the lady bought me a dish called bilo bilo. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing it right. If I'm not, please forgive me because I don't speak Tagalog.
Right.
But I think it was called bilo bilo, and it had the jackfruit in it, and it was it was like a creamy, like it was a dessert. She fixed it as a dessert, and it had pineapple. It was just amazing. But the presence of a jackfruit is scary and it's creepy.
Yeah.
It looks like an alien life form.
Yeah,
I'm
it
just
does.
saying.
It does. I've seen it before. I've just
And
not
then
tried it.
when you cut it open and get it, it's
Oh, I've never seen
it's
it.
not the prettiest thing ever, but it tastes amazing.
Yeah.
But also in that vegan, because you had options, the way they were preparing it, they made that jackfruit out of they said you got to get it before it gets too ripe because it gets on the sweet side, but you can use it as a meat substitute as well.
Yeah, which a lot of vegans do.
Yeah. So, but that lion's mane mushroom just threw me for a loop.
I had
I've never heard of that
a burger
one.
made out of that before. And it tasted like a burger.
Wow. I'm gonna have to try. I've never heard it. I've not even heard
Lion's
of that
mane
mushroom
and it
before.
looks like a lion's mane too.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I'm pretty sure you got to go to like a health food or whole food store for that. Okay.
or like a Food Depot or
Right,
something like
okay,
that. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. But that was my little tidbit. I would love to have expound on it, but I know I'm limited with time. But that's my little tidbit on eating for your blood type.
Love it. Very unique twist.
We're
Thank
gonna
you.
have to post that so people can like reference
yeah,
it.
because they're not gonna remember that.
I sure can.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of Heal With Us.
And remember, healing is a process, so take it one day at a time.
And we would love to hear from you guys. We're available across all social media platforms. So you can email us at healwithus3@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you.
Heal with us.
You with us.
In your business.